This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed singer, songwriter, storyteller, the one and only ANN-MARITA Garced. But before we get to our interview, here is a sneak peek at ANN-MARITA's incredible talent with her song, Easy Enough.
You got your reasons, you got your doubts, you got a hell of a lot of stuff you need to figure out. You need space, though you've been gone for weeks. We lay wide awake but pretend to be asleep. We don't say it, but we're beyond saving. I could just slip out the back, disappear in the night. You could go on without me. I would not put up a fight. It just might be the break you want, but they don't come much cleaner than that. I could sort my own mess out wherever I'm at. Doesn't that sound easy enough? Easy enough.
Well, hello, ANN-MARITA, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing so much better now that we are finally meeting. And where do we start, ANN-MARITA? What I love so much about you is that not only are you an unapologetic, authentic, ferocious talent, but this fusion of culture and musical genre is unlike anything I have ever seen or heard. So I want to start from the cultural part of everything and how you're able to fuse together these beautiful cultural backgrounds that inhabit you.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm originally from Norway, but I've also lived in Sweden for many years, and I've lived in Australia for 5 years, and the US for many, many years. So if somebody asks me where I'm from, it kind of depends on the day. what I respond. But I'm originally Norwegian, but I consider myself Norwegian American by this point. But right now I'm in Sweden, so yeah.
I love it. Oh my goodness. And talk to me a little bit about the different genres of music you grew up loving in the different singer-songwriters, but on top of that, how you've been able to fuse together those loves of all those multi-genres into what you do specifically.
Well, I actually grew up listening to a lot of country music in Norway. My dad, it's funny because it's actually his birthday and he's no longer with us. So
Oh,
but he was a major country music fan, and he would play me all the classic country stuff, you know, Johnny Cash and Dolly Parton and all that stuff. And so I grew up, you know, knowing all that music, and then when I moved to the US, I got to know more of the contemporary country and folk and Americana styles. And with all that, I've also kind of brought with me a bit of my Scandinavian folk music storytelling influence into the whole thing. So it's a big mishmash of stuff. It's
you know,
definitely me.
but for me, in researching you, and as people got a little sneak peek with your song Easy Enough that I want to get into in just a moment, it seems like organized chaos though, because it's filtered through the heartbeat and soul of you. Because there are very few artists that I meet that I truly consider vessels. And I feel like, and forgive me for getting a little woo-woo, but God bless America, I you are, I really look at you as a vessel of the generations that came before you, about every location you've ever lived, every musical landscape that you've ever heard as a child, up through the ones that you enjoy now, through your singular voice. And I'm just so curious if you've ever thought of yourself in those terms as truly a vessel, as a storyteller.
Wow. I'm really flattered by those words. I really Wow. I'm kind of blown away by that. I thank you. Yeah, I love telling stories from way back when. And like, I've really got into learning about Norwegian immigrants in the US. And that became, something that up until the pandemic, I was traveling around performing at Scandinavian themed events around the United States. That was a huge chunk of what I was doing. And also writing songs about the people that I heard of from back when, even including my own family members. And that was that was sort of my thing, and I'm hoping to get back to it again once traveling is a little bit more available to us.
I love that.
So, but I love the storytelling aspect of the whole thing and telling the story behind the song. Sometimes my songs don't even make any sense unless you know the story behind them. So,
See, I'm
yeah,
going to disagree with you, though. I'm going to disagree with you because there's a universality to your marriage of music and lyric that allowed me, as someone who's just meeting you, to feel the way I did. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I again, I think there's more of a universality to what you do than maybe you're giving yourself credit for.
oh, no, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey, listen, I'm from New
I'm
York.
always
I
worried
say it
that
like
people
it
are not
is.
going to get it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm always worried that people are not going to get it. Like, it's too sort of specific to a certain story or anything like that.
Not at all. And honestly, if they are confused, frankly, that's on them. I mean, but in what I also love about what you do, ANN-MARITA, is the fact that I'm thinking of the young ANN-MARITAs out there who may feel like they don't belong in one place. But you are a perfect example of an artist with a capital A, a true artist that fuses in her own authentic, unapologetic way and created her own lane of music genre. I think it's inspiring when I think of the young ANN-MARITAs out there who now have a North Star that it's possible. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I really hope that I can inspire people to be unapologetically themselves because honestly, it's not something that I set out to be. It's just the only thing I know how to be. You know what I mean?
You're looking at someone who lives like that too in a more crazy way. So you're perfect. Final question for you, ANN-MARITA. I could speak with you forever, truly, and I want to let the audience know for more on the amazing ANN-MARITA. You can read more about her right below this video. Talk to me a little bit about specifically the impetus for writing Easy Enough.
Oh, well, it's definitely a heartbreak song. So this is one that I think more people can relate to than some of my, gold rush era gold mining songs, all that stuff. Um, so yeah, this is a song about knowing that a relationship is over, but you're still in it, and both people know that it's over, but you're both just afraid to say, okay, we're done, and the person me in this story is just saying, well, I could just disappear and this would all be behind us. So
That's amazing, ANN-MARITA. And what I also love so much is that you instill yourself in your songs as not only a voice, but being a theater director. I love this as a character, as a character.
wow, thank you. I if I could use some of the quotes from this interview, I would love to.
Oh, please, you're going to get the full interview. You can quote me whatever you like, because honestly, if there's one thing I'm proudest of, besides my beautiful husband and my two dogs and my family, it's the
Aw.
fact that I was born somehow with great instincts of what great art and great artists and who they are. And we just met, but I was able to, through my research of you, gather a landscape musically and emotionally, and this thread through this quilt that is a baton of the generations that came before you and the generations that are kind of going to come after you. And I just find it incredibly beautiful, 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 beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Well, listen, I am so grateful that we are now connected, ANN-MARITA, and I cannot wait for the opportunity, perhaps, for us to collaborate on something one day.
That would be amazing.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Will. Thank you so much.